Hi, welcome to this video. This one's going to be a little bit different because I'm going to be working more remote. So today I'm going to show you setting up our portable sound system and sort of how we do all that, where everything gets plugged in, and it's going to be a little more off the cuff. So today we have a groundbreaking ceremony for a new building, and we got to move all this gear out here so that we can have that ceremony and everyone can hear and see it. I'm going to set up mixers, speakers, microphones, and some cameras for our live stream as well. I will pop in from time to time with where we're at, and we'll go from there. Okay, so first up, we've got our QSC speakers, got the K12.2 and the matching 12-inch subwoofer, and then some speaker poles. I'm going to set up speakers on either side of our tent here, and sub on the ground, grab a pole, screw it in, set the speaker on top. Audience will be on the grass over here. All right, let's get that going. I've got my pole, and on two sides of the sub, I've got this screw hole. Screw the pole down. Then up here, loosen this off, you pull this pin, lift it up. Once the pin sets at the height you want, screw it back down. But I got the first speaker set up, and you can see it's got a bit of a downward tilt on it. It's on purpose. On the bottom of these speakers, there's two holes. The front one, closer to the speaker grill, that one, has a negative 7.5 degree tilt, so it'll tilt the speaker down to point it down at the crowd and not sort of blow the sound over top of them. The other hole, that one, is 0 degrees, so it'll be just straight out. Generally, it's going to be the downward tilting one that we want, because it'll aim the sound down. In this case, we're outside, so it's not a huge deal, but if you're in a building, that'll keep the sound from hitting the back wall as much. Okay, our speaker's up on the pole. Said it's on that one closer to the grill, which gives it this downward tilt. Next step is to point the speaker towards the back middle of wherever your people are going to be. If we're going for stereo, which in this case we are, because why not? And then that blue plug there gets the end of the power cable that's also found in the bag for the speaker. Once that's in, we can now plug it into power once we get that set up. Next step now, we've got our portable mixer. We're gonna have to put that in place and start running our connections. All right, we're going wide angle for this one because we gotta get close up. Here is the front of our portable system. I took the front door off. It's the one with the Gator logo on it. It's also the one that is on the same side as this sticker. Generally only need to take the front one off because all of our connections are here. We've got our Wi-Fi out here, and in this cabinet we've got the antennas for it that we'll have to attach. This is our main power cable for this, and then this is some extra gear. We've got microphones in this one, in-ear systems in this, and then this is our in-ear cables, mic clips, DI boxes, and then underneath here we've got our headphone amp for our 8 stereo wired in-ear system, and then we've got our mixer here, a PreSonus Studio Live 32R. 24 of the inputs are on the front. Generally all we need, there's 8 more in the back. All of the outputs are already pre-wired to this, and our main outs left and right for the speakers are right there. If you want to add internet to our Wi-Fi control, we can plug in to a network port there. Extra plugs here for power, and then this is our main power in for the system. Once that's plugged in, we hit power on here, and then everything should just turn on. Some of you are probably wondering, what's with the luggage? We're going on a flight now? Go get some better gear? No, That was a dumb joke. This is where we carry all of our cabling. So in the green suitcase, we've got 25-foot cables. There's 15 of those. And 15-foot cables. And there's 10 of those. And in the black case, which I didn't open all the way, we've got 2 Furman power bars and 4 25-foot heavy-duty extension cords. And in this case, we've got 4 50-foot XLRs and 6 10-foot 1/4-inch instrument cables. So we're gonna go take the shortest stuff we can. When I'm setting up left-right, I always do it from the audience perspective. So this will be our left speaker, that'll be our right speaker. So I'm gonna go out of the left port there with the shortest cable I got right now, which is 15 feet, a little excessive, and go to the in of the subwoofer. Then I'll go from the out of the subwoofer to the in of the speaker. There's a crossover built in between the two of them, and that will deal with all of that for me. So after I do that one, then I'll go probably take a 50-footer, go out of the right, go around the back, plug in there, and then take a short cable and hop up on that one the same way. There it is. We're going out of the left into A, and then out of A into A. And then generally I just set these to 0 dB on both and use the mixer to adjust the output levels. I've got both of my main outputs wired in to my left-right out there. Next, I'm going to set up power for the speakers. I still don't have power for the main power for the system yet. I'm waiting for someone to let me in there and plug in, but I can get everything pre-wired and ready to go. So for the close one, I'm just going to throw one of these power bars to plug both in, and for the far one, I'm going to run the extension cords and then into a power bar, and that should give me most of the power that I need for this system. In an attempt to cut down on noise, we've got our power plugged in here, and unfortunately it needs to go the same direction as this audio cable. So I'm going to cross the power over the audio at a 90-degree angle and try to maintain space as much as possible to keep them from, keep the power from interfering with the audio cable that I got run over here. So we've got our output set up, power run, still need to get mains plugged in, but that'll come next. So I'm going to start wiring stuff up for the audio. This one's pretty simple. It's just gonna be, we have a mic on a lectern for speaking, 2 wireless mics for miscellaneous speaking as well, and then I'm gonna run a stereo aux in to plug in an iPad to play some background music from time to time. So pretty easy setup. I've got a 25-foot cable here. I'm gonna run it out of number 1 and to the front middle of this where the lectern is going to go, and then my 2 and 3 will just go to right on top of here where I'll set up my wireless receivers, and then I'll have to skip 4 because I'm going to do a stereo pair, so I have to start it on an even number. So 5, 6 is going to be 1/4 inch. These are combo jacks. They can take XLR or 1/4 inch. So I've got a dual TS 1/4 inch cable to 1/8 inch TRS. So that's going to go on 5 and 6 and then plug into the iPad, and then in the software I will stereo link that channel, and that'll give us our background music. Next step is to set up for iPad Wi-Fi control of our sound system. First thing, we got to switch from whatever Wi-Fi it connects to this Microtik one. This is the Wi-Fi that's built into the system, and that's how we have to control this. So we select that. Once it connects, it'll say weak security. It's fine. It'll say no internet connection as well, unless we plug in that front Ethernet port. That's normal. From there, we'll go back out to the main screen. We've got PreSonus here, and we want universal control. If you're on the right Wi-Fi, open the app, it'll open up to this, and then you'll see Studio Live 32R pop up This is our mixer here. Click on that to select it. And it comes in. This has a scene loaded on from a previous thing that we don't need. So I'm gonna hit this little 3 square stack on the top right corner. And this brings up the scenes we have, and I'm gonna go to start scene and hit recall. It doesn't really look like it's doing anything, but if you go to the front, you can see at the bottom the names have been changed and everything's been reset. So from here, I would name the channels. So if we go to the settings, we got lectern, color that red to make it pop out. For this one, I'll actually go over here and select wireless mic. Call it WH1 for wireless handheld 1. This one will get the same thing. WH2. And then on channel 5, that's going to be our audio channel. We're going to need to go back out, hit the little infinity symbol to stereo link the 2 channels. And you can see at the bottom, now goes channel 4, 5, 7. That's because 5 and 6 are now linked together. If you hit the little LR, you can switch between them. Go back to the cog, stereo linking options. And for this one, there is an other, and we got iPad. And I will give this an interesting color and make these the same color as well, just to help me see them. Okay, next I'll run audio out of the iPad one to get the volume set. Currently doing that, nothing's showing up. So that's an unfortunate problem that I seem to run into here with this system. So the fix for it is go to the cog, shut the console down, and then power cycle it. Once it's powered back up, make sure you're connected to the correct Wi-Fi and open the app up again, and then you should actually see some signal on those channels. Just wait for it to say it's now safe to turn it off, and then power cycle it. All right, we're back. Power cycle the system. I'm gonna go back into settings. I'm gonna have to rejoin that Wi-Fi. Okay, we're connected there, and then we can go back to universal control. There's our Studio Live. Open that up, and now you can see I've got some signal showing up on the iPad input because I've been running music through it the whole time, but it didn't show up on the meters because of that weird glitch. So power cycling it after it's been shut off for a while seems to fix that. The goal for any of our signal strength is to hit minus 18 on these little meters next to the fader here. So I'm going to increase my signal strength so it's just bouncing above that negative 20 mark. There, now we're bouncing between that negative 12 and negative 20. That's the goal. For the lectern mic, this is actually a condenser mic. So we're gonna have to go select it by tapping the channel and then going to the top and turning on 48 volt. That's gonna give it power, and then you can see, because it's a little windy, we are getting some signal. So I'm gonna start testing some stuff and then we'll go from there. So for setting up the actual system, I'll generally play some music that I know. I've got my gain set to negative 18 right now. I'm gonna bring this fader right up to 0. And then I'm going to bring up my main until I'm getting the volume that I want for the system. Another option would be to use a matrix, or you could you can leave the main at 0 and turn down the actual speakers, but this will give you more control in the long run. So we got our music playing. I'll reset this EQ, and then I'll just bring this up till I'm getting a loud volume, and I'll make some EQ adjustments. So the subs are a little aggressive for what this event needs. So I'm gonna pull down some lows out of the mains. And that's about as loud as I'll ever want it, so this will be a good spot for my main. Since that's as loud as I want it, that's a good spot for my mains. So I'll leave that there, and I'll pull that down. Now I'll test the lectern. So because it's a speaking mic, you don't need a lot of low end in this. So I'm going to adjust the HPF high pass filter on the top left here, and probably set it around 150 as a good starting point. I'm going to go to my EQ. I'm going to turn that on. So now I'm going to set the mic up where I want it, and I'm going to talk like someone would talk, and I'm going to adjust my the preamp until I'm getting around that -18 signal level when talking, like hopefully someone would talk. When you have multiple speakers on one microphone, you generally have to adjust that gain in between each one. So now I'll bring that volume up. Check, check, check 1 2, check, check, check 1 2. All right, we've got good signal there. I can't make any EQ changes until a little bit later, and then I'll do the same thing for the wireless handheld mics. Yeah, that's about it. Set up each channel. If it's condenser microphone, then it's going to need 48 volt in the top left corner there. Start putting signal through it and adjust your pre until you're getting that -18, so just above that -20 on the signal meter. And if it's for every channel, add a high pass filter and just adjust it based off what it is. If it's a speaking thing, then 150, 130 to 200, somewhere in there, speaking or singing. And if it's different instruments, that would depend on whether or not you want the bass coming out of it. So for a kick drum bass, you're looking at a low high pass filter. For acoustic guitar, it's going to be a bit higher. And that's about it for the system. If you were doing monitors, which we aren't for this one, you have aux 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15 on the right hand side. If I press this, I'm now mixing for that monitor. So if I bring this channel up, it's sending to aux 1. And then when I'm done with that, I can press main and go back to the main mix. After that, if you have musicians and you're using the monitors, they can download the monitor app, and when they log on, they'll have to get on the same Wi-Fi, and when they go on the first time, you'll have to go to the settings and go to device permissions, and you'll see their phones trying to connect, and you'll have to just connect them, and you can just choose which auxes they have access to. All finished, done the setup, done testing. I've got all of our inputs plugged in there. I got wireless there. Mics have batteries in them and have been tested. I'm using aux 1 and 2 off of this to run audio out to our A10 Mini for a live stream. Tested the lectern mic. We got music running out of the speakers, and I've got some cameras set up over there. Cables are hidden as much as possible for the certain particular situation, and we covered them where we could. Other than that, setting up some chairs, and then people start showing up soon. So thanks for coming and watching this to see how we set up our portable sound system, and feel free to check out some of the other videos on the channel, see some of the other things I've talked about. See ya.